And now we want to paste text into this. So in Illustrator, as a default, it'll spit a bunch of lorem ipsum into your boxes, but InDesign doesn't do that. So we'll have to go get some lorem ipsum ourselves. There are a few fun websites, by the way, that do this. One of my favorites is Zombie Ipsum. You can just type zombieipsum.com. There's also like Hipster Ipsum, and there used to be a funny the Big Lebowski Ipsum. I think it was called Lebowski Ipsum. That one seems to have been taken down, but probably copyright issues. But anyway, I find it fun. It kind of negates the purpose of Ipsum. The lorem ipsum is to make the reader not read it. But then when you put stuff like this, it does tend to kind of get the reader to read it. But it's kind of fun anyway. So we're all casual here, so why not? If it were usually get a little bit of a laugh out of your boss. All right, so and that wasn't quite enough text. I want highlight it all. And I don't know if you noticed, but let's go back to the newspaper. There it is. Oh, they don't do it in this one. Oh no, they do. They do. So you'll notice right here, and this is kind of interesting. This actually may have been a mistake on the side of the designer, but everything's justified left with a ragged right, which means that nothing's justified on the right. Ragged. But then the rest of the whole page, it's all justified. Oh no, wait, no, this is ragged right as well. This is ragged right, but this is all justified. Interesting. Usually newspapers are justified, which breaks with convention. People will say that if it's at least I don't know, if it's at least like a dozen words wide, or if it's at least like half the page wide, then you can do justified. But if it's only like 5 words wide, which is what newspapers tend to be, 5 or 6, they say don't do justified because then you might get weird spacing. And you'll notice in newspapers you do often get weird spacing, but it's just the way they do it. So we're going to go justified. Justified. There we go. Let's go with that one. All right. And now, just as in Illustrator, you're going to get this little plus sign. If you have extra text that's not appearing on the page, so I'm going to plop it right there, and then we're going to try to line all this text up. And we're going to pop another box out. We're going to line it up right there. Since there's one more plus sign, whenever we export this as or actually as any, if we export it in any way, um, it's going to give us a warning saying, "Hey, some of the text is hidden," and that's okay as long as you're aware of it. If you're not aware of it, if you get that message and you went, "Oh, I didn't know," you better go back and look for these little red plus signs because you might end up hiding a lot of the text that you meant to show, and whoever wrote the text will not be stoked about that. Another little decorative horizontal line. I'm going to hold shift and there we go. And you know what? Let's look at it so far. And there's a little nifty little shortcut in InDesign that we can use to get rid of all the guides. We can just press the W key. And that way you get rid of all the design helpers and all the guidelines. And then you can see just how it'll look on a printed piece of paper. Looks cool so far, right? If you ask me. And we're just going to kind of rinse and repeat. I'm going to copy the picture. I'm going to make it smaller, and then we're going to make a few more columns of text. And then we're going to call it a victory on this assignment. Okay. There we go. Got to shrink down Arnold. Okay, that's good. And what the heck? We'll just and there it is. Your newspaper page. I'm going to hit W to see